guys, it's Rose. Welcome back to Journals in Time, and welcome if you are new. It is really so great to have you here. So what are we up to today? Well, first of all, I want to let you all know that I have a new kit in my Etsy store right now. It launched last night. It went live last night, and it is themed around a steamship voyage, a ladies' steamship voyage even. So for this one, I was concentrating more on the steamship and the lady element as opposed to the voyage and the boat and things like that. But there are elements of that going through as well to tie it all in. Okay, so this is one that I have wanted to make for a long while, and I finally got to do it. Get it out onto the paper, as they say. Okay, so our first sheet. Here we have some beautiful background papers. I have used some photographs as well. These all the photographs in this kit were taken on steamships back in the day, back in the 1910s and 20s, 10s mostly. Over here we have an image of some ladies dressed up to go for a walk on the promenade deck. Some lovely lace detailing and things like that behind. And I've also added in little cards and trade cards and things like that that a lady would have been concerned with, that she, this one is for high quality chambray, custom made high quality chambray. So she would have been very concerned about her wardrobe and things like that for the voyage. Up here we have a vaccination protection card, so there are some little documents like that as well. So that's page 1. Page 2, we have a couple of more photographs down here. This lady here is all dressed up to go for dinner, and isn't she so beautiful? She's so pretty. And as I said, in the background here you can see some nautical elements just to kind of bring in that feel of the ocean voyage. So yeah, now just a quick word about my pages here. I print on a laser printer, so my darks come out very dark, and quite often my printer won't pick up on the detailing in dark pieces like this. If you print on an inkjet printer, you will get a lot more detail in these images, in just the dark pieces. I mean, the rest of it is totally fine, you can see perfectly fine, but here again there's a lot more detail in these images that will come up on an inkjet printer. Okay, so on we go. So that is very pretty. So our next one, some ledger book paper from some steamship company. Down here we have some steamship images and our ladies dressed in very nautical wear. Very pretty. And there are also some travel stickers, trunk stickers. That's that one. Here we have a couple of frames. Like these reminded me of portholes almost. So I thought that was very fitting. And here we have the grand entrance, the grand stairway down into a lobby and a corridor. I just loved the curve on the corridor, and I really like that image. So that's that one. And again, we have lots of little different pieces around here. Some Louis Vuitton trunks and things like that. I think that's a clothing label. Yeah, so some very interesting bits and pieces there. Here we have a journaling page, again with a nod to the ocean and the nautical theme. We have our collage page. Lots of goodness going on in there. Again, I've used photographs from steamships. They were taken on or of people on steamships. And we're into the pattern and background pages. So keeping with the whole idea of the interior and the ocean and things like that, I used some florals in here to echo like the fabrics and things that would have been used at the time, and also wall paneling was huge at the time as well. So I have tried to incorporate that a little bit, and with the overlay on this, it just gives a very kind of watery, underwater feel. I love this page. This is my favorite page out of the kit, I think. So that is that, very pretty, lovely soft background page. And you can see it has Cunard line, blow softly, blow, blow softly, blow. Large I cannot pronounce that, Lloyd Steamship Company. So yeah, the steamship theme is coming through here also. Lots of lovely texture on that page. Pattern page, quite pretty. And again, a softer background page. I've taken the floral images out of here so it can be used as backgrounds and things like that. Okay, so that's the pages. Then we're into the ephemera, and in this one I have given you 2 large envelopes to play with. One is more decorated than the other. I mean, this could be left as is, or you could put focal point on it. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Love those. And 4 pockets. No corner pockets in this one, just these 4 large pockets. And again, I have taken some of the wallpapers that I was using for the overlays on the other sheets, and I have made pockets from those, and these 2 also. That's also one of the overlays I used, and I think this is in there in the collage page. I'm not sure about that, but I thought it really reminded me of waves, and it would have been really typical of some wallpaper back in those times as well. So that's awesome. 6 tags. Medium-sized tags, I would say. No large tags in this one either. I've just given you these 6 medium-sized ones. Some can just stand as they could all probably stand as tags on their own. Some more than others, and others kind of would lend themselves very well to being decorated and all the rest of that. So I tried to kind of mix it up a little bit with the tags this time. On this one I have put a kind of a focal image in that it's ghosted, but it's really prominent as well at the same time. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. And we have some lace overlays around our little holes here. Then we're into journaling cards. Again, the photographs on these were all taken on steamships, and I tried to include people in all of these ones. So here we have people walking on the deck. In this one we have a lady and a man waiting at the end of the stairs, another man and lady over here chatting. I fancy that it's after dinner, or maybe they're waiting for dinner. Things like that. Here's a group of ladies gathered around the fireplace even, having the chats. And here we have a group of men on the deck playing quoits, I think it is. So lovely photographs. There is quite a few photographs on my computer, so I really wanted to use those. Okay, so we have tabs. I have given you 6 large tabs and 6 smaller tabs. So I figured these could be used as tag toppers or as side tabs on a page. Similarly, these could be used in the same way, but they're smaller, so they can be used on ephemera pieces as well. And then we have some fussy cuts. Again, remember that my printer prints really dark. There is a lot more detail in these than you can see on the page in my ones. Some more fussy cuts, some borders that I thought worked really well for the theme, some teeny tiny ephemera, and a white star line. This is actually from the Titanic. There are 1 or 2 nods to the Titanic in this whole thing, but it's not about the Titanic, just to be clear on that. But there's some stationery from the Titanic there, and I love the aging on this piece. So I didn't clean up the spots and marks and things on it. I liked it as it was, so I left that as it was. We have down here a stamp with a steamship on it and some fussy cut nautical images. That, some more vintage ephemera, couple of more sheets of that. We have just little things that can be used as, you know, journal cards, tucks, things like that. They could be made into pockets, all that sort of stuff. I love the Louis Vuitton travelling requisites, really like that. So that's that. Then we have some steamship ephemera. So we have Cunard Line, the steamship Leviathan. There's no company on that one. Really interesting piece. I really like this piece here. And a travel label again, or yeah, I think that's a travel label or a perfume label or something like that. And I've just given you these down here. They can be just cut out and used as labels. And last but not least, we have the Titanic Musicians, the band, which are legendary, as we know. The front cover of a book, The Sea Around Us. I figure if a lady was going on a steamship voyage, she might want to know about these things. Another label, Health at Sea. I thought this was very interesting. It's something that I never really kind of knew about or thought about until I went researching this, and just came across all these different things. Another Louis Vuitton card there, and some little tags and labels for you to use, and a piece of a camera. Okay, so that is it. 20 pages of steamship goodness. As I said, it is in my Etsy shop as we speak, and I will be leaving a discount code below for you guys to get 20% off for this week only. So that will run until next Sunday, 12 AM maybe. I'll have to double check that, but and that is GMT, my time. Okay, so you will get 20% off that for this week only. So guys, I hope you like that. I like I said, I've been wanting to make that for a long time, and I'm so happy that I finally got to make it. I just hope people like it now. Okay, so what are we doing today? We are, okay, well first of all, let's back up there. I was looking through my stash and looking at postcards. I just have these 3 out because I want to use them for a project, but I have stacks of postcards, some more interesting than others. These 3 particular ones with the photographs, this one isn't actually a postcard, this is actually a photograph, but I wanted the set. I wanted like grandma, mom and daughter maybe, you know, I was kind of thinking like that. So I was looking through my postcards, like I said, I have a project in mind, and I got to thinking about making postcards. So I went and I had a play, as you do, or as I do, as you know, and I've been making postcards. So here are some that I have made. There's 2 birdie ones. I do have another one of those to complete the set, and I'm doing them in sets of 3 for a reason, which you may or may not find out next week if you tune in. So on the back of it I have our address, our correspondence and our stamp area. That's those 2. Love those, and I will probably come back and maybe put in the title of the bird as well. I still, these were cut from book page images, and the birds, the name of the birds was underneath, so I may or may not come back and do that, but I will probably put some sort of a greeting or something on those. These ones I am totally in love with. These are just so much fun. Look at these guys, aren't they awesome? Now I have on the back, I have patterned card, and I thought that was an interesting kind of maybe a little bit of a new way to do it, and I've just very faintly stamped the lines. There is no writing to say address or anything like that. I've just done the lines, and very faintly here you'll see the stamp place. Okay, so that's those 3, and I'm going to show you where I got those images. I have a book called Lady Cottington's Pressed Fairy Book. Now this is the small version of it, and I love this book. Love it. And I'm not going to tell you the full story, but suffice to say, somebody was living in a house, they saw fairies, and they decided they were going to catch them and trap them, and they got pressed fairies. A little bit of a take on our pressed flowers. So that is where I got those images from. And these books, they're very similar to the Edith Holden books in the paper kind of weight and feel, and even kind of the whole look of them. I think it reminds me very much of Edith Holden. So yeah, I love them. They're so much fun, so much fun. So if you come across one of those, definitely pick them up. They're so funny and so cute. So that is where I got those 3 images. Now we've all seen postcards that literally just have images on the front, and I think with these ones I am just going to leave them at that and just leave them be postcards on the back. Okay, that is just the way I'm thinking about it at the moment. That could change. Like as I've been saying in my last couple of videos, I am making things ahead of time. I'm attempting to mass make stuff and have a stash built up. So when it comes to using these in a journal, they may end up being more decorated and more ornate than they are, but for right now I am loving these. I just think they're so adorable. So that's those ones. Then we have another set. This is also a set of 3, but I only actually have 2 done, and there's another one there ready to go to be put together. So all this is, it is a sheet of 12 by 12 that I have cut down into the size that I wanted. I have, it was full pattern all over the page. Let's just see if I have a piece of it. I do. There's a piece of it, full pattern. And I have gone in with some gesso. I've chosen 2 in this one and 3 flowers in this one. And I've gone in around those flowers with some gesso and kind of toned back the whole rest of the piece and just let these flowers stand out. I have put some clear embossing powder layers on there, excuse me, and I have put a sentiment on there, and I just think they look beautiful. On the back we have our postcard. I didn't leave a space here to put my stamp, but you know, so that is another way that I came up with to make them, and I think they're really, really pretty, and just they're different, you know. I didn't want to, I mean, I could have gone and stamped in here and things like that, but I didn't really want to. I wanted these images to really be the things that stood out when you look at them. Okay, so that is that. Now, another tip as well, if you do not like the feel of gesso, I actually stopped using gesso for a while because I didn't like the feel of it in my journals. But if that is you, I came across this stuff. Acrylic wax. I came across it quite a while ago and I love this stuff. It is a water-based coating with the feeling and appearance of traditional wax varnish. Buff for extra gloss or lightly sand for a matte finish. Water and heat resistant. Also can be used as an alternative binder for powders. So if you have like what are they, the pearl powders and things like that, you can use it as a binder for that. Now this stuff is really, really light. You can hardly feel that it's there. I mean, it can be hard to even know whether you've done a piece with this or not at times, but it gives a beautiful smooth finish over everything, but also over gesso, which I love. So all I did was I painted on a thin coat of that, let it dry, and then I have buffed it, and there is no shine. There's a very, very slight shine to it, very, very slight, but I mean, you can see the difference. That's proper on full on gloss, and the card itself really doesn't shine. So that is a great tip for you. Now, having said all that, just rubbing a candle over it could possibly work. Rub a candle over it and heat it, and what that does is it just gets wax in between all the different particles in the gesso, all the tooth of the gesso, and it smooths it all out. So that's another alternative, but I love this stuff and I just thought I would tell you guys about it. So those are the postcards that I have made to date, but I am going to make a set for my new kit, with my new kit I should say. So I have taken a sheet that does not appear in the kit. I'm sorry, talking away from the camera there. It doesn't appear in the kit, but it's I'll just find it here now. It's this sheet, but it was one of my earlier iterations of this sheet, and it was really, really dark, so I obviously had to go in and lighten it up to get it to where I wanted it to be. But I had the print of it, and I've just stuck that down to some end paper from an old book, and I'm going to make postcards with this because I don't want to waste, obviously if I've printed them I don't want to waste things, so I'm going to use it. So I have 3 cut out and ready to go. This one I have the image already down. I was working away, not thinking about what I was doing, of course, not turning on the camera. But I have that image that I was showing you actually on the corner of the page, and that's all I've done. I've cut that out of the corner of one of the pages, and I have put it onto a die cut piece, put a little sentiment down here, and I am going to finish it off on camera with you guys. The others don't have anything stuck down just yet, so I am going to go ahead and get those stuck down, those images, and we will come back and have a look at what we are doing then. Okay, so we have our images stuck down. Now you do have a choice. I just wanted to point out actually, and I'll show you on these ones. You have a choice whether you want to round your corners or not. So on these ones I have rounded corners. On these ones I have left them rectangular. And on this one I've gotten the decal edge. I meant to mention that when I was showing you a while ago. So for the decal edge you just need a fancy scissors. This one is just a zigzag, I think, but you can get the decal edge ones and cut around your rectangle with that. In my case I actually have a die, a nesting die set with the decal edge, and if you'll see on the back as well, I have actually embossed with the smaller size die, the next one down. I just put it into my embossing machine. I put the die on top, put my squishy embossing mat under it, and ran it through the machine, and it just embossed that piece, and it just adds a little something else. And I just wanted to mention that to you guys as well, just giving you ideas for making your own postcards. So I want you to look at book page images, your 12 by 12 papers, again book page images, and your digitals. So that was kind of the whole premise of the video today, and I just got carried away with my kit playing with that and forgot to say that. I'm so sorry, but there you go, you have the information now. Also with this gilding, I have a particular product that apparently Cricut have come out with something similar, which I didn't, if I had thought about it I would have realised it was something similar. This is Silhouette foil transfer sheets. Okay, and they're just sheets like this. Obviously this is full of gold, and I'm going to demonstrate this very quickly if I can find a piece of paper. Here I just have a very scrappy piece of paper. I'm just going to put it underneath here so you can see where my paper is down here, and I'm going to grab my scissors because my bone folder hasn't turned up after about 3 months of being missing. I'm just going to rub across that, pull it away, and you have gold like so. Okay, so that is that product. Now that particular one, it is, I didn't find it great for the Cricut, so I started using it like this. It gives a lovely grungy effect, and I love it. I have lots of it, so I'm probably never going to run out of it, but I hate the thought that I might run out of it because I don't know if the Cricut stuff works the same. But yeah, I love it for gilding like this and for getting that kind of grungy. Now, if I were to put these cards underneath a full sheet and rub over the whole thing, you'd get beautiful foiling across the whole thing, as long as there is no moisture on your card. These things hate water, so if you do get it and you want to use it, make sure that your card, your paper or whatever is fully dry before you use it. So yeah, there's those two just different little things that you can kind of use for your postcards. Just little different little techniques and things like that. And we've explained that one. Okay, so on with these. Now that I have said the things that I really wanted to say. So I'm leaving these square, all that to say that I'm not rounding the corners on these. I am, however, going to ink them. And I'm going to do that now because it throws me off if I don't have it done. So I'm going to fast forward or cut that part out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have gone ahead and inked these up, and as you can see I've done some water droplets as well, and just with a damp, this is actually a baby wipe, doesn't have to be a baby wipe, it can be a rag. If you just press into that distress ink, you will get it's a way more authentic old look than if you just have the smooth ink. So there's a little tip for you guys. just to age up your pieces a little bit more. Sorry about that clatter. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to get my little correspondence lines and my stamp spot and all the rest of that in here. Just make sure I have these the right way up. Now the first thing I'm doing, I have a tiny little frame stamp here. Now just a simple rectangle will do as well, or if you have a stamp outline stamp, that would be great too. You don't even have to put this on here, but I'm liking it. And I am not doing it in black. Will I do it in blue? Might do it in blue. Will I? I think I will. I had intended on doing it with the light grey that I have, the Memento London Fog, but I think I'll do it in the Blue Danube. And I also think that I'm going to try to make it a little bit sketchier. What do I mean by that? Let us see. Okay, so for the last ones I was doing, I don't have just a stamp with just a line on it. I'm sure I could probably find one if I went examining all my stamps. I am not going to do that. Excuse me. So for the last ones I was using a card. So just this, like one of those SIM cards, or like a credit card or something like that. And all I'm doing is stamping into my ink, stamping it on, and that gives a nice kind of unfinished, I guess. It's way more old looking than drawing a line. I had drawn one as well with pen and I didn't like that, so this is way more satisfactory to me. And yeah, I think I'm going to do the whole stamping off. Now I do want to mark the halfway point because I got caught with this earlier on as well. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball this right about here. And obviously this pencil can be taken out later. And do I want the full, I might as well do the full length of the card just to take the guesswork out of it. So I'm going to stamp it off here, and then I'm going to line it up here and stamp that down there. And there we have our dividing line for our postcard. Awesome sauce. Let's get the other two done. Oh, and I forgot to mark the halfway. Never mind, I can measure it with this. There we go. And there we go, that's 3 of those. So the next thing we want to do is put in our stamp, as in our corner stamp. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use this blue ink, I'm going to stamp it off and then stamp onto the piece. Don't seem to be getting ink all over that. Never mind. These two stamps are joined together and I don't want to take them apart because they'll only start getting lost if I do. I have so many different projects going on at any one time. I have stuff all around me, so stuff does have a tendency to kind of get lost down the cracks and things like that. So I try to keep them as together as possible, even though I am quite good to put things away when I'm finished, but like I said, I usually have a few things going on all at the same time. There we go, we have our 3 little stamp images. I'm just going to clean this stamp and block. We're good. So the next thing we want is our lines here, 3 lines, and I'm going to use the card again. If I can put my hand to it. Where did I put it? Here it is. So now I'm going to mark on this with my pen. You don't have to do this, you can just eyeball it. I'm just being a little bit more pedantic with this one. Just going to mark on that card where I want that to end. And I'm just going to lay it into my ink pad up to that line. And that is a good way to control it, I guess. And it also helps me to center it on the actual postcard. One little simple mark can do all that, yeah. And it does help me to keep them lined up together as well. Who knew? Okay. So that's that. I'm going to go and get the other two done and I'll be right back to you guys. So, as it happens, I don't actually like, the only word stamp that I have where I can get a satisfactory lineup of my stamps is this one, and I don't like the font in this for this project. So I'm not going to write the address and correspondence parts, I'm just going to leave it blank. I do have other alphabet sets. They're much larger than that as well. The letters themselves are much larger, but there is no way to line them up. They're just separate blocks. So if you are new to junk journaling world and you haven't yet got an alphabet stamp, or you didn't even know you needed an alphabet stamp set, you don't. But if you do happen to go and decide to purchase one, make sure that you get one where you can clip the letters together, that there is some sort of a system for them to be able to line them up properly. That's, you know, just a word of advice. I have several sets there and I avoid using them because I have no way to line them up and it's just a headache for me. Okay, so that is all of our stamping done on here and I think they look great. Awesome sauce. So let's get another little bit done on the front here. Now I have some stamps picked out that I want to use on these. So let's lay them out. So I'm going to work with this lady first, and I think I had decided that I wanted the rope with the knot, again bringing that nautical theme, and hello there. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to heat emboss this on here, and I'll get the other two done as well, and I'll come back and show you guys what I have done. Okay, so that was a bit of a comedy of errors, I don't mind telling you guys. I had a lot of trouble with the heat embossing on these, simply because I used glue stick to back these onto the end papers from the books, and that causes a lot of trouble with heat embossing. So in the end, what I did with these ones, here where it says just for you, and down here where it says to my friends, these are actually embossed on separate pieces of paper, cut out and stuck down, and that was they're stuck down over the failed attempts before that. So just a word of warning, if you do want to heat emboss on a piece, try not to use glue stick under it. So here we have this one. This one I couldn't do the second layer of heat embossing that I wanted, so but it's there. It says hello there, and we have our rope down here, and our lady here, it says a memory to hold. I love this one. And on this one it says just for you. We have the ship's wheel, and down here it says my friend. Not showing up very well on the camera there, I think, with the light, but it is quite nice. And on this one we have the ship's wheel and to my friends, and that is those three. And on the backs we have our postcard images, and I love how this turned out with the blue ink. I think I will be doing that again. And I do wish that I had the postcard stamp, you know, where it says that font where it says postcard. Wish I had one of those. I thought I had one, but when I went looking in my stamp stash, I couldn't find one, and there was no record of my ever having one. So I don't know. I must keep an eye out and pick one of those up, because I think it would have looked awesome on here. Okay, so that is it. That's three of those. And those are the ones that I made off camera. So I hope you got some inspiration from these makes today, and that you will go and make your own postcards. There's our two birdies, and that's the one that's in process. So to be in, don't forget to comment on the video to enter the draw for our Taurus journal for the month of May. Don't forget that you need to be publicly subscribed for that. I will put the information sheet at the very end of the video again to tell you how to go about subscribing publicly, setting your subscription to public, because otherwise I can't see whether or not you are subscribed just by your comment. Okay, so keep an eye out for that at the end of the video. Change your subscription to public if you need to, and comment on the video to be in with the chance to win that. And even if you do not want to be in the draw to win that, leave me a comment anyway. I like to say hi. If you haven't hit the subscribe button already, please do that. Come back and see some more. And give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. It really, really helps my channel when you interact in some way. Okay, so that is it from me for today. Next video up will be our binding the journals for the mini challenges, the mini masterboard challenges over at the Junk Journal Trading Post with Rach and Bella Crafts. I promised you guys that I would show you at the end of the month how to bind the signatures into those covers. So that will be on Wednesday as far as I know. And then next week we will be doing something with these. I have a project in mind. Maybe not these particular ones. Maybe it will be these particular ones. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that next Sunday. So that is it for me for today, guys. As I said, stay tuned to see that information sheet telling you how to subscribe publicly. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Have a fantastic week, guys. Bye.